The web application firewall is the first line of defense that is usually available when somebody's trying to attack our website or our web server. This is before they can even get into the web server or launch any kind of a request or anything like that. It has to go through the web application firewall. And their IP address, if their IP address is malicious, that'll go through the web application firewall. And if it is malicious, they get declined right away. And if their request is somehow showing up in one of the signatures that we're doing, or that's in our database for the web application firewall, if that request signature is known to be malicious, then that gets blocked. So it's the first line of defense, as they say, when it comes down to web application security and everything along those lines. So if you're just following along with us, we're using the detecting web attacks. My God, I can't speak. We're using the detecting web attacks room that is inside of the web security monitoring module of the SOC Level 1 pathway of TryHackMe. We have so far gone through client-side attacks, server-side attacks, log-based detection, and network-based detection. And so now we need to talk about the first line of defense for websites and web applications, and that is the WAF. So far in this video and in this section, we focused on detecting and analyzing malicious activity. Now we want to shift our focus to the most effective mitigation tools available. And these are the WAFs, right? They act as gatekeepers for the web application, inspecting full request packets, similar to Wireshark, but with the ability to decrypt DLS traffic and filter it before it reaches the server. So firewalls in general have rules, and we need to create rules to configure our firewalls. There will be default rules that will come pre-installed with the firewall, but really those don't work for any individual environment. Like, you have to go ahead and modify them and add your own to make sure that they actually work for you and for your company and organization the way that they should. So you have the blocking of the common attack patterns, and it blocks known malicious payloads and indicators. So for example, block malicious user agents known as SQL map. If you notice that SQL map is in the user agent field, block it right away, right? Deny known malicious IP sources. If the IP reputation or threat intelligence sources or geo-blocking rules that have been established, if any of these are triggered, then it blocks that IP from any kind of attack, right? So let's say blocking the IP from a recent botnet campaign, which would be the IPs that were included in a botnet campaign. That botnet campaign, all the list of the IPs that were in that botnet were distributed through a threat intelligence source. So we got that list of IPs, and now it's part of our rules that says any of these IPs that show up, I want you to block them. And then of course you have custom built rules for your specific application needs. So allow only get post request to a given page. So let me zoom out because it's kind of, there's actually other rules that we're missing here. So allow only get post request to the login page. And then we have the rate limiting and abuse prevention. So limit request frequency to prevent abuse. So the limited number of attempts, right? So limit the login attempts to 5 per minute per IP address, so that what we saw in the previous section when they were doing a bunch of login attempts using Hydra doesn't take place, because within the same second they had submitted, I think, something like maybe 20-30 different login attempts, and obviously it happened within a second. So it's like, okay, every 5 minutes you get to, or every minute you get to try 5 different login attempts. That's kind of like a way to mitigate a brute force attempt. So imagine that you notice repeated get requests to the change username page with the user agent string SQL map, and it's an automated tool for detecting exploiting SQL injection vulnerabilities. After reviewing the network traffic, you see that the requests include SQLI payloads, SQL injection payloads. So you might create a rule to block any user agent string that matches your SQL map. So for example, if user agent contains SQL map, then block. That's a rule, and it's really easy to understand, right? The user agent is a field inside of the logs. So if in that field, if anywhere in the value of that field, there is some kind of a reference to SQL map, then block that request. And it's a rudimentary example, a very basic example, and modern firewalls will detect and block known suspicious user agents automatically. However, rules like this can be custom made to suit your specific application or scenario, which allows you to block malicious activity without impacting normal site traffic. So now, the challenge response mechanism. So the the firewall doesn't always need to block suspicious requests outright. For example, they can challenge requests with a CAPTCHA to verify whether they come from a real user rather than a bot. This capability is extremely valuable considering that malicious bot traffic makes up 37% of global web traffic, and it's beneficial for firewall rules with a higher chance of blocking legitimate traffic. So this is what it looks like. This is the web application rules. Rule number 1, if the client IP address equals this, block it. Rule number 2, if the user agent equals Hydra, block it. If the region is not, so does not equal, right? So if it's exclamation and equal sign, that means if it does not, if it is not United States or Europe, then challenge it. I want you to challenge it to make sure that it's a real person or if it's not a botnet or something like that. So we can then integrate known indicators and threat intelligence, and this is really powerful because web application firewalls can actually pull data from a lot of different resources. So many firewall solutions include built-in rule sets designed to mitigate the OWASP top 10 security list. We talked about that at the very beginning of this overall episode, some of which have covered previously. Web application firewalls also leverage threat intelligence feeds to automatically block requests from known malicious IP addresses and suspicious user agents. They receive regular updates to combat new and emerging threats, including those from known advanced persistent threat groups and recently discovered common vulnerabilities. So you can use Cloudflare, for example. So we can go to this article right here. And this is the blog for cloudflare.com to see how they use intelligence feeds for their web application firewalls. And of course, this is really useful. It's very handy. And when you use a firewall like the ones from Cloudflare, this is why a lot of people do use them, because they're actually really nicely configured and they're current. They maintain curated IP lists from sources like botnets, VPNs, anonymizers, malware, based on global threat intelligence. And this is why the cybersecurity community is so freaking awesome, because they share threat intelligence with each other, because the more secure everybody else is, the more secure I am, and so on and so forth. So it's one of those things where if we actually help each other, it helps us. Like if I help you, it actually ends up helping me too. So it's a really cool philosophy of, help me, help you, help me kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So that is all we got for web application firewalls. I don't think there's an actual practical exercise here, but it does say, what do they inspect and filter? So what do web application firewalls inspect and filter? So we can look through the packets themselves, I guess. So let's see. I want to say it's web requests. So let's see. Very good. Okay, great. Create a custom firewall rule to block any user agent that matches bot.thm. So if user agent contains bot.thm, then block it. Voila. Look at that. Do you see how fun this kind of stuff is? I really love this kind of stuff. It's actually really fun for me. I hope you're enjoying it too, and I hope you actually got value out of it.